Hey, Coach. Ace with United Football Media. My first question, I heard before the game that the game plan all along was to pull Tamu in the second half. What was the thought process going into that, and does it have to do with not getting home field advantage for the conference championship?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that was part of it, yeah, the home field advantage part of it, which, regardless of whatever the case may have been, once we've clinched where we want it to be, the whole thought process went into knowing that we wanted to get Mike some time out there and get an opportunity to see him with some live looks, more than what he had gotten before. So regardless of whatever it was, the plan was to make sure that we get Mike out there in the second half. And, we want to keep Jordan, staying on time and rhythm and things like that, with the receivers and stuff. And, we'll probably do the same thing next week.
I was actually sitting next to Mike's dad in the first half. He was very excited, drove up. He knew that his son was going to play in the second half, so I'd be remiss not to ask, what did you think of his second half performance, leading the comeback, getting that last touchdown?
Yeah, I thought Mike did well. I mean, that's why we brought him here, to come to our team. He fit what we do offensively. And, we felt really good about him, early on throughout the week. We knew he was going to go out there and do the receivers, did a great job with spending extra time with him throughout the week of practice, knowing that he was going to play. And I told the whole entire team, when he get in the game, as a team, both offensively, defensively, special team, everything, we're going to rally behind Mike. And those guys did that. So proud of the way those guys fought in the second half.
Hey, Coach. Max Williams here, KVU team Victoria. So I just wanted to ask, for you, look at this for this team. Sorry to check the mic was on. So when you look at this team overall, obviously you guys, again, didn't probably play the best game when you look at overall, but you go into this week, again, Friday, short week of practice, right, going to St. Louis. So kind of what is the mindset for you guys going into that game, you think, there for Friday against the Battlehawks?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just clean up the mistakes that we had today. We had 2 fumbles down in there going into the red zone, or 1 in the red zone. We had a missed field goal that that's a chip shot for us. And then we gave them 2 points in that first touchdown, So the biggest thing is clean up our mistakes. And from that standpoint, we felt good about how these guys played and continued to play. They showed some resiliency for sure. And that's the one thing, we always going to find a positive out of it. The win didn't come our way. But we love the way our guys stayed in the fight. So, we'll make the correction from there.
So talk about, obviously your quarterback, right? You had that change. You had Tommy there play there in the first half. You had the change going there in the second half. So kind of talk about how did you feel his performance was in that first half there, going there for Jordan?
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that he came out of that first half efficient, and he showed some pretty good efficiency. I think we had maybe a drop or 2 in there, and then maybe an overthrow. But Jordan was pretty solid, and that was the one thing we wanted to take from that first half with him being out there. We wanted to see him go down, have a few drives and put some points on the board, which we did. And then make sure he came out in that first half efficient. And he was efficient for the most part. And I don't know the exact stats, but I think I saw it earlier, the first half, and I forget what they were. But I do know he was pretty efficient with it. So it was a pretty positive outcome for us in the first half. And he stayed healthy.
Coach, you bring it up. He stayed healthy. Next week, you have a bit of an odd sequence of games where you're playing the Battlehawks, and then you're going to play them the next week in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Keeping Jordan in rhythm, like you said, this game, playing in the first half, is the game plan going to stay the same going into next week, or possibly pulling him? Because I know social media was losing their mind every time he ran the ball today.
Yeah, I did too. I lost my mind a little bit and was telling him to slide a lot sooner, or if it was a situation that he going to take the ball, just as soon as you do it, just either get the ball out your hand or go slide right away. But the plans are, may pull him a lot sooner next week, again, just to keep him in rhythm a little bit and give him some quick reads and things like that to where he's not holding on to the ball. But that's the biggest thing. We just want to make sure we keep him in rhythm a little bit and don't get stale. And, like I said, we'll probably pull him a lot sooner next time for sure.
And then last question from me, going into next week, playing the opponent you're going to play in the playoffs with a game that doesn't matter as much. Mike's probably going to start come in at quarterback sooner than he did today. Is he going to get the full playbook, or are you going to kind of condense it so as to hold things back for the playoffs?
No, we're going to game plan the way we normally do. Probably going into that game, of course, we have things that we really like, going into the playoff. But no, he's going to have anything that what Jordan will have, and we're not going to, give him anything shy of that. And he handled it well. We didn't do anything, only just for him in the second half. It was the same game plan that we had, throughout the entire first half as well, with a few things that we changed up a little bit for what they were doing defensively. And but yeah, Mike is pretty much his quarterback on the sideline. I don't have time to always go over there and get with him. So, anytime that Jordan's in the game, he's helping him make the corrections. So he's been very helpful for Jordan from that standpoint once he's on the sideline. So, no, Mike is a gem.
James, we'll open it up to you for Zoom.
Yeah, hey, Coach. I wanted to ask about your evaluation of the run defense today. Houston rushed for over 100 yards, averaging 5.6 yards a carry. Was kind of a struggle there in the second half. What were your thoughts on the way the defense played today? I know you're missing Anthony Hines, who's a key piece of that linebacker core.
Yeah, the biggest part was just, tackling, getting the ball on the turf. I think schematically we was where we need to be. But, outside of that, it was more so just making sure we get back to our fundamentals, stay with our fundamentals, and just tackle the ball.
We saw Spencer Sanders make a reception out there, your QB3. Was that part of the game ahead of the game? Does he have experience at wide receiver? What went into that?
Yeah, Spence been doing that. We always talk about if to do thing in public, you must first do it in private. So, Spence been doing that throughout the course of the weeks of practice, for quite some time now. So this is not new for him to go in there. He was ready for the moment because, it was hot out there. And, a lot of these receivers starting to take too many reps, and we didn't want to overuse them a lot. So he was ready for the moment. I asked him would he be comfortable going in, and, his eyes lit up and everything gets perked up. So he was ready to go. So we trust him in those moments.
And then finally for me, we saw Ben Bresnahan. He's been having a solid season when he was called upon, made that ridiculous one-handed catch to keep that drive moving. Can you talk a little bit about his play and what he brought to the team this year? Yeah,
oftentimes we practice one-hand catch, believe it or not. I mean, I know that's the one thing that people always say the rule is two hands all the time. But, no, we actually practice one-hand catches. Of course, there's going to be time where you're getting held by a DB or somebody holding you. So you got to make sure you still keep your eyes on the ball. So we actually work those type drills. And it just come natural for him. But he's been playing solid for us all season. We were excited for what he's been doing for us throughout the season, all of our tight ends. So we're excited about those guys and what they bring to our offense. And our team, because they're so valuable for us on special teams as well.
Do we have any other questions for coaches? All right. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you all.
All right, we'll open up for questions.
Hello, Jordan. This is Max Williams here, KVU TV, 25 News Now in Victoria. So today, just looking at it, right, you played the first half, right? You threw there for 165 yards and kind of got the feel of it, knowing that you had your backup coming in there in the second half. So kind of just talk about your performance there in the first half and how'd you feel?
Yeah, performance was good. I go the whole week was just for me to play the first half, take my shots when I have them, make smart reads, and just keep the game reps going, and miss a couple throws, but that's something that's easy that we can just go in and practice and fix that, and work on more timing for that. But most importantly, I was excited for Mike to go in there and showcase his talents and stuff. Because he showed it every week, and it was a good feeling seeing him out there throw it around.
Absolutely. So now you go into this week here in a short week, right?
Yeah.
Going against the Battlehawks, a team that you're going to be playing here twice coming into it. So kind of talk about how is it going to be, you think, similar when you go into this week? Maybe today, do you think it might be you playing the first half, second half, or what do you think it's going to be like?
Yeah, it's going to be very similar. We're going to talk about it this week, it being a short week. Either I'm going to play a quarter or another half, depending on what they want to do and what the coaches want to do what the coaches want for this week. So whatever they decide, I'm with it.
Absolutely. And there's a final question here overall. It's like, what is your mindset, you think? Because hey, this team this Battlehawks team's a really talented team overall. So what do you think the mindset's going to be? You think maybe this Friday, and then obviously playing them again there in the following week and everything else?
Yeah, going into this next week, our goals are intact. So everyone knows that this is a conference play, and this is a big game for us, no matter who it is. But for us to get ready for St. Louis, especially in the playoffs, is we got to go out there and dominate. This coming up week. If I'm playing a quarter or a half, I got to make the right reads, throws, and just show physicalness and toughness to get that momentum going into the playoff. So this week is a big week for us.
Jordan, Ace with United Football Media. We just talked to Coach Harris, and a thing that he brought up was that during the game, he doesn't have a lot of time to come up to you after drives and talk through everything. So having Mike DeLiello over there to kind of come in, be a QB coach for you during the game, build that relationship with him, he said he's a real gem to have with you guys. Yeah. Can you explain the relationship that you and Mike have created over the season since he signed last year?
Yeah, like I said before, he's a smart, talented dude, and it's awesome having another set of eyes, especially someone who knows the offense in and out like I do, where, if I'm coming on the sideline, I'm like, hey, what did you see? He's like, hey, whatever you read, I read that exact same thing, or if, hey, what if we look this way because, rotation and stuff like that, it helps out tremendously just having him on the sideline, seeing everything. And that's what I try to be for him whenever he was in there today. Very different role, but like you said, we feed off each other very well, and he's a great player and very smart dude, and I like having him on my side.
And then last question for me,
Yeah.
How excited are you to go in XFL Conference playoffs, go into St. Louis in front of that large crowd and show them that you should have had home field advantage?
Yeah, I'm excited. I used to play in St. Louis, so I'm excited to play in front of that fan base. And, my favorite thing, playing away, especially in big stadiums, is silencing the crowd. I mean, that's my favorite thing. I know that's a lot of people's. But I'm excited to go in there and, show my gifts and talents and play a hard-fought game. And I'm excited to be back in the loop.
All right, we'll open it up to the last one from James.
Hey, Jordan. We've seen Cornell Powell really emerge down the stretch of the season as one of the go-to targets in this offense, especially scoring. I mean, he's leading the league in receiving touchdowns right now. Can you talk a little bit about just what he's brought to the table for you, especially with all the wide receiver turnover you've had over the last 3 seasons?
Yeah, having Cornell Powell was so huge. When Vaughn sent me a picture of him in the offseason saying, hey, we're about to sign this kid, I actually got excited. He's a big target, strong, physical guy, and he's shifty and fast. So just having that as a wideout, it's a dream come true, honestly. It's like throwing the DK Metcalf again, A.J. Brown. So, having him out there is just it makes me comfortable to know that, he's on my team and that I get to throw him the rock. And the way he's emerged into this offense and into this playbook, he's a smart dude. He knows how to get open, and communication is very key how we stay successful.
All right, thank you very much, Jordan.
Yeah, thank you.